Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. Right, so we're doing something a little bit different today. Hi everybody. Is this artwork different from before, or are you misremembering? You are probably misremembering. I have not drawn anything new in regards to this artwork since the last time. But anyways, let me go ahead and just... we're actually just gonna stick to this screen pretty much for the whole stream. But yeah, anyways, welcome. So we are doing a week 1 report on my Logbuster challenge, which I have explained how it works on Discord. But obviously that's Discord, this is YouTube, so I'm gonna go ahead and explain it how that works here. And I'll let you guys know what's been going on with that, and then we'll probably just chat for a little while, maybe an hour-ish. I got about an hour and 10 minutes worth of recording footage here for Zenless Zone Zero. So I don't think the stream is gonna go for that long, but well, there we go. I've got that much recorded footage to just have as background noise, basically. Anyway, so Logbusters is Logbuster is a title that I have decided for a new little challenge on how to tackle my own like gaming backlog and just gaming habits in general. And I'll go ahead and start off by showing you guys what my Steam library looks like right now. And that should be it right there on the screen. So as you can see here, I've only got 4 games to my name right now. And the reason is because I have hidden every single game that I own on Steam, except for these 4. Actually, these 3 right here, DMC3, or you know, DMC Collection, Hyperness Neptunia, and Shantae, because Zenless Zone Zero is not a Steam game. I had to like manually add that in to my library. But yes, so the point of the challenge is to only give yourself a small handful of games and stick to those games for at least, you know, I'm gonna explain how the gist of the challenge works, so you guys can try it at home if you want. So yeah, for me it's 4 games in 1 month, and I'm calling it Logbusters because it's kind of like renting out a couple of games rather than actually owning them. And yeah, so for this challenge I have given myself... Originally I gave myself 6 games. It was actually DMC Collection, Doom, Hellpie, Hyperness Neptunia, Shantae, and Zenless Zone Zero. That was the original 6 games that I gave myself, and then I realized, oh wait, 5 games is still a lot of games to play. Even, you know, like 6 games, even not counting Zenless Zone Zero. Let's discount Zenless Zone Zero. 5 games is still a lot of games to play in 1 month, especially when a couple of those games were were pretty beefy. So like obviously Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 2 is a JRPG. Like a JRPG by itself could take you a month to finish, depending on how much you're actually playing it each day. And then in that list, Doom, I believe, might actually be a much longer game than I realize. So yeah. Oh wait, at least one of these games is literally endless. Yes. So that's the setup that I've given myself now. So out of these 4 games, one of them, Zenless Zone Zero in this case, is my endless game, because I'm usually playing at least one such a game, either a gacha game, or, you know, back in the day I was also playing like Minecraft a fair amount, and I remember last year I was playing Overwatch 2 for about a month. So yeah, I pretty much always have some kind of endless game like this, whether it be a live service, or a multiplayer game, or a survival game. It's always just a safe thing for me to come back to whenever I feel like. So this is my one endless game, and then the other 3 are just random games that I felt like I was in the mood to play, or feel like I should try to play. So in this case now, I know the DMC collection is 3 games in one, but I'm actually just going to focus on Devil May Cry 3. I've already played Devil May Cry 1 a number of times, including not that long ago, like just a few months ago I was playing that game again. I didn't finish it. I was trying to get all the trophies, or all the achievements, and that didn't work out. That didn't work out because the Devil May Cry is a very difficult game. Just by default. And trying to 100% it is even harder. Like way harder, and I don't need to do that, and I wasn't having fun trying to 100%, and I was having a lot of problem with just like the first mission, like secret mission that you can do in that game. So let's not do that. And then DMC2, it's Devil May Cry 2, it's fine, I guess. It's acceptable. I mean, it's not actually. It was actually the first DMC game I played. It's not actually that bad as some of the reputation may lead you to believe, but I wasn't really that in the mood to play it right now. So DMC 3 is the one I was actually focused on playing, because actually I would say that DMC 3 is my favorite Devil May Cry game, but I actually haven't fully played 4, and I've only played the demo of DMC Devil May Cry. The one by Ninja Theory, and I have not played Devil May Cry 5 ever. So, of the original trilogy, which is the only one I've actually played properly, DMC 3 was my favorite, and I haven't. And despite the fact that I'm saying that, I've also only played it once. And yeah, I've missed this. But what's your objective with this game? Is to beat them, just to give them a try? Yeah. So I'm gonna go into that in a little bit. So, yeah, so the point of these games, you know, the goal with the games is to play them to my personal satisfaction. And, you know, if you're doing this challenge as well, do it to your own satisfaction. So what does that mean? You do not have to finish these games. That's what that means. If you let's say I'm playing HDN Rebirth 2, and I play it for like 4 or 5 hours, and after those 4 or 5 hours, I'm not really having fun. I'm not enjoying myself. I'm not you know, I'm not connecting with the characters, with the story, with the gameplay, whatever. And I really don't want to keep going. I've essentially had my fix of the game, and I don't really want any more of it. Then I can just stop. Because you shouldn't try to force yourself to play games you don't want to play. That's you know, the you know, a goal for this Logbuster challenge is to, you know, tackle the backlog, bust the backlog. And a key part of tackling your backlog is to make sure that you're still having fun. You have to remember, these are just video games. Video games are meant to be fun, or if not fun, they should at least be fulfilling in some way. And, you know, you should there's a lot of games out there that aren't fun, but can still offer like an experience, give you an important message or something like that, or just something memorable. And if you're not connecting with that either, then you're just not really, you're not the target audience. You're not really meant to play that game. So yeah, I want to make sure that you're tackling your backlog, but you're not forcing yourself to play everything in it. Give games a shot. Give the games that you want to play a shot, and see how you like them. And if you do like them, great. And if you don't like them, then, well, now you know. So yeah, so if I do actually like the game, which I probably will. I would probably actually enjoy Rebirth 2. I played the first game and I actually had a lot of fun with it. I have played Shantae's Risk Revenge before, so I already know I like the game. I just wanted to play it again and maybe try to 100% it. And again, I also know I like DMC3, so I'm probably going to enjoy all of these games, all of these 3 games right here. But again, I'm just telling myself I'm going to play them to my satisfaction, not to actually finish them. I'm not telling myself I have to 100% them. Dear God, no. Some games out there were not meant to be 100%. They're just not designed to make that a fun experience. Okay, I can move on to the next game after I collect 100 banana-ish objects. Yeah. Yeah, so play them to your own satisfaction. Maybe it's like a fighting game, and it has like 30 characters and each character has their own story mode, and you don't want to do the story mode for all 30 characters. That's fine. Just do like the few characters you actually like. Just do like 1. I don't care. If you're satisfied with the 1 story mode, then that's all you need to do. So yeah, play these games to my satisfaction. So I also mentioned a month. 1 month is the minimum, not the maximum. It is the minimum amount of time that I have to keep these games that this is what my library is going to look like. So the point of having a month as a minimum rather than a maximum is because I don't want there to be like a constant timer ticking down, telling you have to play these games within this amount of time, otherwise you lose. Whatever, it's just a self-imposed challenge, but still you lose. No, I don't want that. Some people work well under pressure. Maybe for you it might work to give yourself a strict time limit of a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however much you want, because it works for you to like pressure yourself to play these games for under this, because after that time you can't play them again or whatever. Maybe that works for you. It does not work for me. So what I'm actually trying to replicate is the feeling that I had when I was younger. Because when I was a kid, maybe like 10, 11, I had my PS2. I only had a couple of games. And I would only get new games maybe like 2-3 times a year. Like whenever my mom would just give me some, sending them from the US, because I couldn't actually. There were only a very small amount of games I could actually buy with my own money back when I was a kid. It took several months of saving like lunch money to afford a video game back then. It's a whole system. So because I only had a couple of games to my name, I would play these few games that I had over and over. I got to, discover all the secrets. I got familiar with all the locations. I got really good at them, and I would play them. I would find different ways of playing them and enjoying them. And despite how few games I had, I actually had a lot of fun with them. Even with the games that weren't actually that good in hindsight, because I only had a few things to play. I had a lot. I got to explore those couple of things a lot more. And then, yeah, one way to phrase this is having a game allowance. Yeah, So I'm trying to replicate that feeling, that sensation of, you know, only having a couple of games and you just get to enjoy them for as much as possible. And if you're done playing the games and you're bored of playing the games after, you know, before the 1 month is finished, then, you know, go do something else. You know, don't just spend every single waking moment of your free time playing video games. You got other things you can do. So I've allowed myself to, like, you know, go read manga, go watch anime, go draw primarily, really, and do other things like that. So yeah, so give yourself a minimum amount of time so you actually get to soak in the games. You know, get to enjoy them, get to play them over again. Even once you're done with them, you can still find new and interesting ways of enjoying your games. And, you know, keep doing that. I think this will overall be healthier, because that way you also don't trick yourself into this weird mentality that games are like a consumable media. And like the only reason you're playing games is so you can put a check mark next to a list of games you've beaten and you didn't actually care about playing them. You know, don't do that. Actually try to engage with the games you're playing. Try to actually enjoy them. Yeah, so among these 4, I mean 3 games, which one have you played this month? So yeah, let's go ahead and get on with that. Unfortunately, I must admit, for my 1 week report, I did 1 session of Devil May Cry 3. I played the game for about an hour, I had fun with it. And every single other day has been with Zelda Zone Zero. Now, I need to make it very, very clear though, before I continue that. I want to play Zelda Zone Zero. I'm not forcing myself to play this game because of like FOMO, or because like I gotta get the character before they run out or whatever. No, I'm actually genuinely enjoying playing Zelda Zone Zero. I've been going through the main story. I've actually got the footage right here playing on the side of the latest story chapter, and I'm trying to, you know, just get through that. I've been enjoying the characters a lot. I think, yeah, Zelda Zone Zero is a genuinely enjoyable game, and I have been enjoying it every day that I've played it, and I will probably continue to enjoy it for many more days and weeks. So yeah, I don't want it to be like super disappointing that I've only been playing the Endless game instead of the other games I gave myself an opportunity to try out. But again, making it very clear, I am enjoying it as long as you're enjoying the games. Again, these are video games. This is not homework. This is not mindlessly consumable media. It is games. You should have fun with the games. You should enjoy them. So as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, that's fine. You know, don't take this challenge too seriously. It's what I've very quickly learned within just doing it for a couple of days. It's still just games. It's a fun way of trying to tackle the backlog. It might work for me, it might not work for me. I don't know. I'm still gonna do the challenge for a month, and maybe I'll end up just playing Zelda Zone Zero for a whole month, and I'll like never, like even like a month and a half after I won't be touching any of these games. I realize, okay, well, this didn't work for me. That's fine. It's fine if it doesn't work. It's just video games. Don't worry about it. Right. So alongside this Logbuster challenge, there was another, arguably much more important challenge that I had to give myself. And that is to try and stay almost, not completely absent, but severely reduce the time that I spend browsing the internet. Because a lot of the time that I could have spent playing these video games right here, I knew that I would actually end up spending just like on Reddit or YouTube or Pixiv or whatever, because I did a lot of online browsing. Like I've before I started this other challenge, I would spend a lot of time just in my computer on Mozilla Firefox, just going over the same couple of websites over and over, scrolling some more. I would go to the bathroom with my phone and I would spend way longer than I needed to be in the bathroom for, just scrolling my phone, looking at Reddit, looking at all the different like memes and interesting news happening around the world, and checking out game news and all that. And then YouTube gives you a bunch of several hour-long videos you can immediately lose yourself with. And sure, they can be kind of... I'm not saying that everything on the internet is like just slop, but it starts feeling very devalued when you're just consuming it, when you're just watching videos over and just going through YouTube over and over. You're just scrolling Reddit or just scrolling some more, and you're just looking at all this beautiful, you know, each individual beautiful piece that you get on Pixiv is, you know, worth cherishing and remembering. But when Pixiv gives you 50, 100 different beautiful pieces from different artists every minute, and you're just clicking through them over and over, just like you might spend like 5 seconds at most on any one piece, and then you look at it, that's beautiful, like bookmark, show me the next one. You're just like consuming art, you're not actually engaging with it. That's, first of all, disrespectful to the art itself, and second, really bad for you, like your mental health and your attention span, because you're not letting your brain actually like process and think and engage. You're just consuming. Stop consuming so much. Actually stop, give yourself a minute and do, you know, play the thing properly. I reckon books of puzzles you can solve in the bathroom ought to make a comeback. Yeah, that would also be a nice thing to have. Just like a little rack on your bathroom next to you, like your toilet paper is just full of like puzzle books. I'm not gonna do that, but yeah, I kind of like that idea. This Pixie stops scrolling eventually, unless you're on the discovery page, I guess. Yeah, and I do scroll down to the discovery page fairly frequently. So yeah, Pixiv also has the ability to just keep giving you art forever. So yeah, I needed to stop doing that. And sometime last year, I actually did do this exact challenge for a week. And in that challenge, I actually completely stopped myself from like logging into the internet. I even took away like Discord and everything. I'm not doing that this time, but yeah, for 1 week last year, I was completely abstained from internet browsing, and I actually liked doing that. I enjoyed that 1 week I did last year of just no browsing. I allowed my brain to just rest. I allowed my brain to get bored. And honestly, yeah, this is something I told Lakin last year in the chat last year in person, and I'm gonna repeat it again. I feel like modern society has demonized boredom. Like, it's like we're not allowing ourselves to be bored anymore. Like, it's not permitted. You have to be in it. You have to lock in. You have to be entertained and thinking and always doing something at all moments. And it's like, no, that's not how the brain works. Your brain should actually, like, boredom is a completely normal human emotion, and we need to have it. You need to allow yourself to be bored sometimes. Boredom is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it sounds like a bad thing. It's not something you want to have, and it's definitely not something you want to be in a constant state of. But you gotta give yourself a break. Like, when boredom happens naturally, it's just giving your brain a break. Your brain needs a break. It just does. Okay. Art as a mindless consumer good is how we got to this point with history with AI generated images. Yeah, that's I was thinking about that here. Like AI generated images is just it's a symptom of a bigger problem of just turning art into consumables, which is itself a side effect of a world that runs on money. But that's another discussion for another day. Okay, so now you haven't missed much. It's just me basically recapping what I explained on Discord, just in a little bit greater detail. And I did mention that I've pretty much just been playing Zenless Zone Zero for the past week. I did like one session of DMC3. Then it's just been Zenless Zone Zero. Again, I have fun with it. I'm having fun with it. I don't regret the time I'm spending with Zenless Zone Zero. But yeah, I kind of knew this was going to happen. Because of these games, the one I actually like the most is Zenless Zone Zero. So I knew I was going to end up playing that the most. It says time played 0. But that's a lie, because I guess Steam does not count the time played on non-Steam games. So, yeah, it's been more like several hours in the past week. Anyway, one can argue that originality dies when you stop being bored. Yeah. Yeah, like the mind starts making a lot of ideas when you just let it do its thing. And if you're always thinking of what's in front of you and not what could be in front of you, there you go. That's kind of part of it. That's something that Red Hall was saying over there. Yeah, so anyway, so back to explain that a little bit more. So this time that I'm doing the challenge, I'm not completely abstained from the internet. I am allowing myself to go on Discord, because I just like chatting with you guys. I like my Discord server, and I do have a couple of other servers that I like to frequent here and there. They're not super active. Honestly, my own server is the most active server that I currently participate in. So yeah, it's not too bad. There are a couple of other servers that I have that are way more active, but I have them on silence. Like, just have them muted, because they're a little too much. Discord can also get really overwhelming if the server starts getting a lot of people. That is not the case with us. We only have like 40 something, maybe 50 something members, of which only like 3 of us are actually genuinely active. Yeah. Yeah, our server is the most active server that I frequent. So yeah, I'm trying not to be in anything particularly more active than that. So yeah, I'm allowing myself Discord. I am allowing myself to go online when I need to use the internet as a tool. So like, if I need to translate something, if I need to look something up, if I need to get some reference images, I can use that. And I am allowing myself one browsing session per day. We're like, okay, this is like, I'm back home from work, took my shower, I had my early dinner or late lunch or whatever it is when I get back from work, and like, okay, we'll do some browsing. And I've mostly been spending my browsing time archiving art, like other artists' submissions. I've been saving those to my computer, and I've actually been enjoying doing that quite a bit. Oh yeah, I've thought to add. You have thought to add on top of the use the internet when you need to look something up thing. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, whenever you're ready to type your addition, go ahead. But yeah, so I've been allowing myself one browsing session per day, and mostly just spending on archiving. So I will use that time to do a little bit of extra browsing. So like, I'll go ahead and check Reddit real quick, see if there's any new posts, particularly on like the Zenless Zone Zero leaks subreddit, to see if any new footage or codes have been added there, so I can get some of that. And I'll check Blue Sky, and I don't really use Twitter anymore. I'll check Blue Sky real quick, see if anything's going on over there. But mostly just checking what new art has been posted that day. Checking primarily Pixiv, Fanbox, Blue Sky, and Newgrounds. I think is the other main one. And then just spend the rest of my session just archiving art. Right, so you heard from someone else, but there's a small movement out there to sever our dependencies on the all-encompassing algorithm. That I already like that idea. We should step away from the algorithm. The algorithm is mean. And I go back to when everything we found on the internet was our own discovery, when we searched for things manually. Yeah, that was fun. Individual pages would be discovered through like user groups, and early YouTube was all about word of mouth. There's just someone out there right now is hard at work building some kind of browser extension that just straight up blocks any pages, links, thumbnails generated by an algorithm. That would definitely make the internet look very, very empty. The modern internet would look very, very empty if that happened, which would just come to show how dependent we are on the algorithm. And for this to really work, we have to go back to making websites like how we used to. So there would need to be a lot of effort from a lot of people for this to work, but I want it to work. It'd be nice if to think for ourselves again rather than having algorithm think for us. Yeah, that's another thing the algorithm does. Is just it does the thinking for you. And the thing is that even when it's like showing you a bunch of YouTube essays, and the YouTube essays are very well scripted, well edited, they bring some very unique, interesting perspectives to the table. When you're just watching a bunch of them all at once, even that starts becoming slop in your brain. You're not even smart content, quote unquote, will be devalued if you're just consuming it and you're not allowing it to actually sit in your mind for a while. It'd be nice if there was an accompanying renaissance of quirky pages made by individual people. Yeah, like let's make it so that Hypnospace Outlaw 2 is not a game, but like just like a new internet browser that just works like that. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, so yeah, besides that, I'm also allowing myself 1 day a week where I do actually go to YouTube. I wasn't allowing myself YouTube like pretty much at all, but there is 1 day a week where I will go to YouTube and save a couple of videos. In my case, it's almost primarily been ASMR videos, because I really like having ASMR as background noise when I'm drawing. And thanks to this challenge of staying away from social media as much as possible, I've actually been drawing more consistently and more focused than I think I ever have. Period. Like, since I became a digital artist, I don't think there has been a period in my life where I've actually been so consistent and focused on drawing without getting into like the super unhealthy like 12-hour long drawing days. Those are fine every once in a while, but you really shouldn't do them like consistently. So yeah, I'm actually doing a here's been my routine for the past week, which has mostly been work days. So I wake up early in the morning. I work in the mornings. I wake up, get ready to go to work. And I go to work, and that's my morning. That's my early afternoon. And then I get back home at like, I don't know, anywhere between like 3 something to 5 something. I'll come back, eat, take a shower. I'll do my browsing session right then. Do some art archiving, and then I put a couple of ASMR videos on like VLC Media Player. Maybe put a couple of music videos in there as well. Just some like music playlists that people made on YouTube. I downloaded a couple of those. Just like an hour long of just vaporwave or whatever. Just put that on and just start drawing, because I got a lot of things I want to draw. I got a lot of things I should be drawing. And just let that go. And it's been great. It's been great having that consistency, because I very frequently, the time I would have spent drawing, I instead wasted it, again, scrolling Reddit, watching a bunch of YouTube videos, whatever. I wasted that time. And even when I am drawing, I would oftentimes just like take a social media break in the middle of drawing, and I would just like have Paint to Sai on one monitor, and then on the other monitor I would go to YouTube and just watch a video for like an hour. And then the drawing is sitting there on my other monitor, completely on, just like it's like half a painted layer. It's not even fully painted yet. I still gotta finish it, but I'm just like distracted over here watching Joel play some game or whatever. Which, yeah, it's fun. It's fun watching Joel play Voices of the Void and what have you, but I shouldn't be doing that while I was already focused on drawing. So I need to like actually focus. And this challenge has allowed me to actually genuinely focus. Okay, so essentially, yeah, Hypnospace Outlawfication. You often get tired of binging video essays, no matter how well structured they are. One video essay per day is your limit. That's good. Yeah. I mentioned this earlier in the stream, but yeah, you should, if you want to do this challenge, which I actually do recommend. I think it's actually been a pretty good challenge. Make sure you set your own limits to what you understand you need to work on. So I really needed to work on my Reddit scrolling, on my Pixiv scrolling, on my YouTube scrolling. So that's what I mostly tackled. If you've got a different, maybe you spend a lot of your time on like Instagram, or you spend a lot of your time, I don't know, maybe you spend a lot of time doom scrolling, specifically like political news and all that, and it's just like really affecting your mental health because you think the world is falling apart. Yeah, you definitely tackle that, because like I get it, it's important to be informed on what's going on out there, but like at some point you're just like torturing yourself, and you shouldn't try to do that. You know, be informed. It's important to be informed, but like there's a point where you're actually kind of just torturing yourself. Okay. Yes, ever. I've genuinely never been this consistent in my. I've always been. I'm a very easily distractible person. I have to admit. I'm not sure if I have ADHD. I might have like ADD, not the full ADHD. And I'm not sure if I want to go to a psychiatrist to like figure that out, but maybe someday, I don't know. Eventually. You had more dependable video downloader, you download more YouTube videos to watch locally. Yeah, that's honestly pretty good. And I did one video I downloaded this week was actually the latest animation by Glitch Studios, which is not the latest episode of The Amazing Digital Circus, but that other thing. Was it like the Haste Light District? Yeah, something like that. I'm gonna have to watch that one of these days. But yeah, I downloaded it, so I'll be checking that out. But mostly ASMR and music videos. Okay. It'd be great for like hiking trips too, since the internet signal is super weak. Yeah, if you have a couple of videos downloaded in there. I literally breathe WhatsApp. That's my aunt. La tía del WhatsApp. It's what we say in Latin America. The WhatsApp aunt that just like seems to have an endless supply of very low effort memes, and she just posts them all day. And that got even worse once AI generated slop started invading WhatsApp. She has no shortage of random images to show everybody, and I don't think she realizes that AI generated. I don't think she even understands that AI generation is a thing now. She just sees the pictures. Haha, that's funny, let me share it. I swear, like there's a lot of people out there that are like the target audience for AI generated shit because they don't understand it in the slightest. That's the target audience for AI generations. Those who don't get it. Those who don't even conceptually understand what AI generation is. That's the target audience. And there's a lot of people out there like that. You'll never hear about them because they're not usually like you know, like making intelligent arguments online. They're just like consuming slop. But they're out there by the millions of possibly even billions. Yeah, bro, who doesn't have ADHD these days? Honestly, yeah, it feels like everybody has at least a little bit of that. Maybe it should be more like maybe we should start treating ADHD like autism and how it has like a scale. So technically everybody has at least a little bit of autism. Some people clearly have more than others. Probably that's how attention deficit probably should work. It's like everybody has at least a little bit of attention deficit, and it just gets worse and worse with some people. And you can make it worse and worse by consuming social media like like that. I mean, AI generated, Jesus. It's definitely a consensus that the value of AI gen images drops sharply and quickly as soon as it's known that it's AI generated. Yeah. So that's why WhatsApp is going to be a breeding ground for that, because nobody in there is going to know other than like the one young smart kid in every group chat, like family group chat. They know it's AI generated. Nobody else in there knows. It becomes a problem. I think ADHD has a societal problem more than like a natural malady. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's been what I've been doing. It's been very, very encouraging to have a consistent method of tackling, my art primarily. That's really like the whole thing with the gaming backlog. It's fine. It's nice to have. But I kind of Trojan horsed it. I Trojan horsed the gaming backlog challenge when what I was really trying to tackle was my social media addiction. So I kind of tricked my brain into it because, take that brain, I'm too smart for you. So that's mostly what I've been doing. So art archiving, let's get back to that. So the past week I was successfully able to archive every single thing that the artist Buckethead Arrow has ever posted, which was starting 2017, actually, not 2018 like his fanbox would suggest. I went in and saved all of that, and that was great. Buckethead Arrow, for those of you who don't know, is a very, very talented NSFW animator. So saving his stuff was actually pretty easy because as long as you have his fanbox, you can just like go into his post and he'll have everything I don't actually know if Buckethead Hero is a man or woman, but they'll have everything arranged in like zip folders. So you just download the zip folder and there you go. Yeah, so by art archiving I mean just saving art instead of because I oftentimes do find myself revisiting a lot of pieces and I just like looking at them. And by actually having them in my computer, it just makes things a lot easier. So I'm kind of just like archiving the stuff from mostly my favorite artists, because I like to just have it there. I like to study it sometimes, see what I can learn, see how I can get inspired. And it also helps me understand an artist's like process and how they think and how they do things when I actually archive everything that they've ever posted and not just like a couple of things. Because you get to see their art journey. You get to actually see their very first things they started posting. You read the posts and how they what they thought, what they were doing at that time, depending on how vocal they are, obviously, but you get to see them get better over the years and how their focus shifted and all of that. So like in the case of Buckethead Arrow, at first you thought you meant back in. No, my own art has already been archived. Well, okay, most of it has already been archived on Dropbox. Unfortunately, I am out of room in Dropbox, so I've just been uploading zipped folders on Pixie Fanbox. If you want to download my art, that's gonna be the best way to do it. Use Dropbox, and starting 2025, use Fanbox, and it is everything is just right there. Just click and download. I don't mind. Don't worry. Okay, you're guessing no, but have you done this observing the art journey thing with any of those guru artists you had? I love heroes. Yeah, so I was actually gonna get to that. So after I had... Well, let me finish with Buckethead Arrow first. So yeah, so Buckethead Arrow started mostly with like Toho animations. But he does have an OC, Akina-chan. She's very cute. I like her. And I'm glad to see that she's actually been taking the spotlight more and more over the years. So I'm always happy to see artists focusing on their own characters, on their OCs, rather than fan art. Like, I mean, fan art is nice and all, but yeah, there's just something special about you know, your own characters, your own creations, and all that. And it's also kind of impressive seeing how many animations of Buckethead Arrow are of this other character that's not his. It's clearly a commission, and yet there's a lot of posts for this commission character, which I have to wonder, like, how much is a commission by Buckethead Arrow? It can't be cheap. That man's that person's animation style, and you know, like that can't be cheap. That's gotta be like a pretty good chunk of gens you're paying to get Buckethead Arrow to animate anything for you. And if you're getting several of them, like this commissioner is fucking loaded. Now, loaded commissioners is not a new concept. It's just still impressive every time I see it. Have you guys ever seen like a case where a commissioner has not only NOC, but also like a specific artist that they always go to get their OC drawn? Like the only person you'll ever see, the only person you'll ever see drawing this OC that doesn't actually belong to them is a very specific artist. Like usually they'll spread it out. They'll, a commissioner will have a bunch of different artists that they ask for commissions for, but there's a couple of them out there that just have like this one dedicated artist that they always go to get their OC drawn. I guess because they feel like that specific artist captures the essence of their OC perfectly, and they don't want to mess with anybody else. So like, hey, that's cool. I mean, you got the money, more power to you. I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your cassiola. Okay. I see you can sympathize. Well, you generally gravitate towards characters you recognize. There are a few Pixiv artists with OC so good that you don't want them to draw anything else. Yeah, I mean, obviously I want artists to expand their horizons and do whatever they want. And the other thing is that OCs typically don't get as many views as fan art. So like, I understand from like an exposure and even like financial standpoint why an artist would not really favor OCs very often, just every once in a while. But for those of us who really just like that artist and their characters, it's very nice when artists focus on OCs. Okay, you've probably seen something like that, but because you can't read Japanese, you're not sure which OC belongs to who sometimes. Buckethead Arrow makes it easy because posts with Akina-chan, which is his character, are tagged as Uchinoko. Uchinoko means my child. And then posts made with other people's OCs are Yozonoko, which means like foreigner. So someone else's character. That's what that's trying to say. So if you can read a little bit of hiragana, you can recognize Uchinoko and Yozonoko. So there you go. If you ever see the words Yozonoko in the context of Japanese artists, they're probably referring to that. They're probably referring to, this is a commission that somebody else asked me to draw their OC. So there you go. Right. So I've mostly just been focusing on like actual digital art, but I feel like I should be expanding my definition of art archiving to other things. So for example, music. I feel like sometimes maybe I don't want to archive art, maybe I'll just want to like go to a website and download a particular game soundtrack and just have that, you know, just have more background music to play in the background. Or maybe sometimes, like, there's a couple of ASM artists out there that I really, really like, and I kind of just want to have all of their videos. So maybe some days I'll just like dedicate to saving a bunch of videos of a particular ASM artist that I like. You know, I should expand the definition of art beyond just hand-drawn digital art. There are other forms of art out there. Maybe I'll find some writing, maybe some, like, you know, either original writing or fan fiction out there that I really like, and you know, I'll go and deal with that. You can read Otokonoko, yes. Yes, Otokonoko is also quite a popular thing. Thinking of OCs, you're not sure if this counts, but you recently discovered Shimon-chan, the butterfly fairy that became the mascot of the Japanese town Shimotsuma. Never heard of this one, but Japan and mascots are like bread and butter, so I can totally believe just a random OC becoming like a town mascot. That is not surprising. You like the character design quality? Well, maybe you should show her. I would like to see a Shimon-chan. She sounds quite cute. Yeah, so that's what I've been spending most of my browsing session on. Now, as of a couple of days ago, since I already finished archiving everything from Buckethead Arrow, I now moved on to an artist that I have a very, very troubled history with, and that is the artist Yu Tanigaki. So, Yu Tanigaki is an artist that I discovered sometime last year, and he is, first of all, I really like his characters. I really like his consistency. Like, he actually has as on Fanbox, he has a daily report that he does. So like every single day at around 6 a.m. in my time, you know, time conversion from Japan all the way over here, 6 a.m., which is usually the time when I wake up to go to work anyway. So it kind of really just worked out perfectly. He posts a daily report, and you know, it'll either be like progress on what he's currently drawing right now, or maybe just a little doodle, or sometimes even like photography, because he also has a road bike that he not only uses to go to work, but sometimes just like goes hiking on his road bike, and he'll take some pictures of where he lives, which is in Kagoshima, which is like southern Japan. So it's kind of like that tropical vibe, but he's also got like this volcano. Yeah, he's got a really nice view of a volcano if he goes hiking up the mountain. Right? So he posts some pictures that are just very pretty. I really like that. I have a troubled history with this artist, however, because unfortunately he is also a Guro artist, and I fucking detest Guro with a passion. For I feel like it's pretty obvious reasons. You might have a harder time finding someone that does like Guro than someone that doesn't, because it's fucking gore, obviously, and it's just really, really sad to me. Really sad to see his characters, which again, I really, really like them. I like their design. I liked how I like just the kind of story that he's slowly building around them. And then it feels like a waste. Very, very wasteful to just see these characters get put in like very violent, awful situations that I don't want to look at. So it's a very, very conflicting set of emotions where, like, I like the characters, I really respect the artist's like consistency, and I like the art style, and he seems like the way he speaks on his daily reports and all that, he sounds like he's a genuinely good person. He sounds like he's actually very nice in real life, so it's even more surprising to hear that he's also just into like gore. Like what the fuck, man? It's like he was almost perfect, and then he just had to ruin it with the worst possible thing. Unfortunately, this is a hentai doujinshi. All Might. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but just no, even worse. So the problem, you know, besides that, is that I've grown a bit of an obsession with his characters to the point where I feel like I need to save them. And this is very dangerous territory that I am exploring here. But yeah, I feel like every time he posts another Goro piece, and it's his characters, Sister Lunaria, sisters, because I really like nuns. I really like nuns. You can very easily tell that from if you look at my art. He also has most of his characters. Well, you know, his main characters are also nuns, and they're really cute. But then they're suffering. They're getting murdered in this horrifying way. So they're like, no, you can't. This can't be. I'm not okay with this being your legacy. So like, I've actually drawn between the last year and today. I've drawn a couple of pieces. Like, not gonna say like dozens of them, but I have drawn a number of pieces featuring his characters in much less like horrifying situations than what he would normally do. Some of these pieces are like alternate scenarios to what he's already done. Some of them are completely original. But like the point is, I feel very, very attached to these characters, and I've discovered that I'm actually a lot more attracted to characters that have a lot of potential, more than characters that have already explored their potential. You know, it's kind of like being falling in love with the idea of what the character could be rather than what they are. So in the case of Yu Tanegaki's characters, because he's focusing on like killing them most of the time, you don't really get to find out their personality very much. You don't get to see the world very much. You just get to see different ways in which they might die. And I was like, no, I genuinely feel like there could be a much nicer, even not just a nicer story, but just a nicer approach to this character. Like, I would like to meet these characters more. And I feel like, okay, if he's not gonna do it, which is clearly not going to, then I have to do it myself. And you know what? I have the power. I can draw. I can see. I can fight. You won't blame me if I can give a straight answer. But why do you like none? Why do I like none so much? It's honestly, I have thought about this, and I think it's mostly because nuns are very innocent. They're very cute. They're very like pure. And that's the kind of character design, character demeanor I usually tend to gravitate towards. I know a lot of people out there also like portraying like very sexy dominatrix nuns, and I like those too. They're obviously, I don't have a problem with them. But, you know, nuns are just very like pure and innocent and cute. And I'm the kind of person that just because something is like erotic doesn't mean it can't be cute. So like, in my opinion, honestly, like it can actually add to the cuteness when they have a little bit of that eroticism applied to them. So yeah, it's just, I like them because they're cute, is the short answer. Only I have the power to draw your enemies pregnant. Okay. OC versus non-OC in terms of potential, like I probably won't know that it's established with All Might and My Hero Academia, but there's a lot to do with OC, yeah. Well, I mean, OCs versus non-OC in terms of potential. Alright, right, yeah, so yeah, OCs definitely tend to have more potential than an actually established character, because an established character will usually actually have a story already. Whereas OCs, the problem with a lot of artist OCs out there is that they haven't made a story for them, or they've made very little story for them. You know, one thing is a bad story, other thing is just a lack of a story. Sounds like I just delivered the dictionary definition of moe. Yes, that's another way we're looking at it. Nuns are super moe, and I like moe. I know a lot of people out there are like sick and tired of like the moe blop phenomenon, but I actually like it. Anyway, yeah, so nuns, they're very cute, and Yu Tanigaki has very cute nuns that he just does not treat very cutely. So I'm almost doing it for I want to draw these characters in such a way that like it's just an alternate reality for them. You know, it's like their original creator, their father basically, is treating them like shit. So I want to give these characters like another possibility, another chance at life where they will be treated better. Like I kind of just want to like take them away from him. If I'm gonna be bluntly honest here, like if I could, I would just take Yu Tanigaki's character like, yeah, you not join your characters anymore, piece of shit. Okay. Hey, you've heard of Fix? Yes. Yes, Fix. And I was thinking specifically of the so-called JoJo ending to the very fucked up hentai manga, like what's it called, Metamorphosis? Yeah, that one. Or Emergence? Yeah, Emergence or Metamorphosis. Either one. The JoJo ending is a so-called fic, and I very much appreciate having stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm doing, and it's very common to see that like fics with, you know, like a much more thoroughly established story, like Dragon Ball. You know, there's a lot of people out there like trying to fix Dragon Ball's like plot holes and all that. And I'm sure there's a lot of that happening for like other stuff like My Hero Academia and maybe like Overwatch, something like that. But I don't think I've ever seen someone do that with another artist's OCs. Like it's such a small scale fic. And yet I really want to do it. I want to kind of own my own version of these characters. Is what I'm trying to say. So I have been rowing a lot. I'm not putting out a lot. I'm not posting a lot right now, is what I shouldn't really be saying, but trust me, I am cooking. I am cooking in the background. There will be food. Trust me, you will eat sooner or later. Okay. Moe was really popular in old anime, right? You don't mind Moe? No, yeah, Moe is very popular. I think after the Studio Kyoto Animation really started like perfecting the art of Moe, it just exploded, and it's everywhere nowadays. You're under the impression that Moe was decreasing popularity from the media you've seen? No, it has not. I mean, maybe from the media you've seen, but in general, no. There is still like plenty of Moe's things you can see out there. I mean, the West maybe, but no, even in the West, I feel like there's a lot of art. Because okay, so here's the thing: there's just a lot more stuff nowadays. There's a lot more studios out there making anime, making, you know, creators making manga, games, artists making their own thing, whatever. So there's just a lot more stuff to choose from nowadays. So if you don't want Moe, if you don't like it, then you can find a lot of the stuff that's not like it. And, you know, otherwise, gacha games would not exist without Moe. That is absolutely true. And even though Zenless Zone Zero presents itself as a little bit more mature, there is still a lot of Moe in this game, and there's a lot more in just gacha games in general. But yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff out there right now, so you can find a lot of non-Moe while still being hidden from all the like millions and millions of Moe things being posted out there. Right. Anyway, back to Yu Tanigaki. Well, actually, no, I'm pretty much done with talking about Yu Tanigaki. He's making it a lot fucking harder for me to archive his shit because there are no zip folders like Buckethead Arrow had. It would be really nice if we had some zip folders where I could just copy paste. But no, I'm having to like manually save each individual image from his Pixiv and from Fanbox. And it is very painful to save even the art that I really don't want to see. But like, I'm doing it anyway. Like, what the fuck? It's just... If I'm gonna archive an artist's entire like art repertoire, then I might as well do it properly. So, yeah. That's what I've been doing the past couple of weeks. Well, no, couple of days, the past week. So, yeah. I think the footage here for Silent Zone Zero is gonna end in like, the next couple of minutes anyway, so we're pretty much done for the night. So, yeah, that's it. I hope you guys will consider doing, if not the Logbuster challenge, maybe you don't have a problem with your gaming backlog. That's fine. I definitely have a problem with my gaming backlog, and like, especially choice paralysis. That's another big reason why I did this. Because like, when I open my Steam library and I see literally hundreds of games to choose from, I'm like, I can't do this. Too many. There's too fucking many, so I just end up not picking anything in particular. So hopefully with this, by narrowing down my options this much, I can do it. But if you don't have a problem, then, you know, don't bother doing this. But if you do feel like you have a social media, internet browsing addiction, then definitely consider taking measures to reduce that. I can tell you from experience, it has been just so wonderful for my productivity, for my attention. Like, like, oftentimes before I started the challenge, like early in the morning, right after I wake up, I would immediately go to like scrolling Blue Sky and scrolling Pixiv and scrolling Reddit. And like, when you do that first thing in the morning before you've even gotten out of bed, you're already like overloading your brain with information, and it's gonna make you mentally tired for the rest of the day, because you have a limit. Yeah, I remember Aiken Labs told me about this. You have a limit on how much like stuff, how much information you can store in any given day. And if you're spending your first half hour as soon as you wake up overloading your brain with information, with whether it's important or not, you're going to feel tired. So once I stop doing that, I don't feel as tired in the morning. I feel more... I feel mentally present, like I wasn't feeling before. And I felt this exact feeling when I was doing the full internet abstinence thing last year, and I really enjoyed doing that. And I honestly, in hindsight, I don't know why I stopped doing that after 1 week, because like I told myself I would do it for 1 week, and after that 1 week I felt very refreshed, I felt really good, and then I just came right back to my old habits. So that's why I'm doing it this time for a month, and ideally I should just keep doing it. Like, after I do it for a month, let me just stay doing this kind of routine, because it's been good. It's been good to me. It's been good for me. It's been helpful. It's making my general life just a little bit just more organized. I feel more... I've actually spent a lot of time cleaning. Like, on my days off, I clean my bathroom, I clean my room. I'm doing things I wasn't doing before. I mean, I'm not gonna say I didn't clean. No, I did clean before, but I wasn't making the time to clean because I was spending so much time on social media. I'll oftentimes just wait until it was like really bad. So now I'm not waiting until it's really bad. Now I'm actually just doing it more. I feel like I should be doing it. Like, I might be able to do it as often as I feel like I should be doing it. So that's good. You all stuck with 1 or 2 games and don't swap games until you're done with what you're playing. Yeah, so if you don't have that problem, I'm very happy for you, and I'm glad. And you probably don't need to do this challenge. So yeah, for anybody out here who does feel like they need to do it, and there's probably not anybody in chat right now, but maybe somebody later will just like stumble upon this stream, and they'll want to watch it and be like, "Hey, That sounds like something I should try to do. It's not good spending hours before a slug, being a slugman on your phone. Yeah, first thing in the morning, especially. Yeah. So when you go back to a game mid playthrough, you're so disoriented that you feel like you'd better be off replaying the game. Hey, I mean, yeah, some games out there are pretty good at like catching you up if you take a long break, but not every game. So yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's a little different if you're falling asleep to it at night, but there's a risk of getting super engaged and not being able to sleep. Yes, that's another thing about it. Like, they really do not recommend that you look at your phone like half an hour before going to bed or anything like that. Like, because your brain will like reactivate. And also something about like blue lights. Like, blue lights wake you up, and red lights, warm lights send you to sleep. Something else to do with that, but mostly, yeah, just disengage your brain. When you're trying to go to sleep, you're trying not to think too much. That's why I tell you to count sheep, because counting sheep is boring. You're trying to be bored for going to sleep. All right. Anyway, I think that's about it for me tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I might very well see you again next week for another report. Next week I won't have to explain everything again, so it'll probably be a shorter stream if I do it. Yeah. So I'll catch you guys when I catch you. Have a good rest of your night, rest of your weekend, and all that good stuff. Bye bye.